The space station's lights blinked softly in the darkness of space. Inside, Dr. Hyun-Ki Park walked through the quiet halls of the night shift. He was the only human doctor working at Galactic Medical Center on Station Epsilon. The clock showed 3 a.m. Earth time, and he had just finished his third cup of coffee. Hyun-Ki looked out the big window at the stars. Even after 5 years on the station, the view still made him smile. He remembered when humans first joined the galactic community 15 years ago. Many alien species were scared of humans because humans ate both plants and meat. Most aliens only ate plants, and the idea of eating meat frightened them. The doctor's thoughts were interrupted by a loud alarm. Red lights started flashing in the hallway. A voice came through the speakers. Emergency medical transport arriving at Dock 7. All available medical staff report immediately. Hyun-Ki grabbed his medical bag and ran to the emergency dock. Through the thick glass windows, he watched a silver spaceship come closer. It was a Lyridian transport pod, and it was moving fast. Lyridians were beautiful aliens who looked like they were made of crystal. Their skin could change colors like a rainbow, and they had 4 arms instead of 2. The ship's computer spoke to him. "Doctor, the pod is carrying 2 passengers, 1 adult Lyridian and 1 child. The child's life signs are very weak." As the pod connected to the station, Hyun-Ki noticed something strange in the air around it. There was a purple mist, Lyridian fear pheromones. Lyridians released these chemicals when they were terrified. He had never seen them so strong that they were visible. The pod's door opened with a soft hiss. A tall Lyridian mother stepped out. She was beautiful, her crystal-like skin reflecting the emergency lights in waves of color. All 4 of her arms were wrapped around a small bundle. The bundle barely moved. When she saw Hyun-Ki, her skin flashed pale blue, the Lyridian color of fear. She backed away, pressing herself against the wall. Her voice shook as she spoke in basic galactic language. "Please, my little one is dying." Hyun-Ki stayed where he was. He knew his appearance scared her. Humans looked like predators to many alien species. Their forward-facing eyes and sharp teeth reminded aliens of dangerous hunting animals. He kept his voice soft and calm. "I'm Dr. Park. I'm here to help. Can you tell me your name?" The mother's skin rippled with uncertain colors. "I am Songhwa," she whispered. "My daughter. Her name is Era. She started getting sick 3 days ago. Her crystal matrix. It's failing." Hyun-Ki nodded slowly. He had treated crystal matrix failure before in adult Lyridians. But in a child, it could be much more dangerous. "May I scan her?" he asked, holding up his medical scanner. "I won't touch her yet. I just need to see how serious it is." Songhwa hesitated. More fear pheromones filled the air. But then her baby made a weak sound, and the mother's love won over her fear. She stepped forward carefully, still watching Hyun-Ki's every move. The scanner showed bad news. Little Era's crystal matrix, the living crystal structure that made up Lyridian bodies, was breaking down quickly. Her normal rainbow colors had faded to a dull gray. Without help, she would die within hours. "Songhwa," Hyun-Ki said gently, "your daughter has crystal matrix degradation. It's very serious, but we can treat it. However, we need to start right away. Will you trust me to help her?" The mother looked at her dying child, then at the human doctor. Humans were new to space. They were different and scary to many aliens. But they had also done amazing things since joining the galactic community. They had solved medical problems that had puzzled other species for centuries. Their strange biology, the very thing that made them scary, also let them help in ways other species couldn't. Songhwa's skin swirled with mixed colors of fear and hope. "The closest Lyridian doctor is 3 days away," she said quietly. I have no choice. Please save my little one." They walked quickly to the emergency treatment room. The room was special, designed to help many different alien species. Hyun-Ki pressed buttons on the wall, and the room's environment changed to match Lyridian needs. The air became warmer and fuller of minerals that Luridians needed to stay healthy. Samhwa placed Era on the treatment bed. The baby was so still now that only the faint color changes in her skin showed she was alive. Hyun-Ki ran more detailed scans, frowning at the results. The crystal matrix breakdown was spreading faster than usual. "I've treated this condition before," he told Samhwa, "but I've never seen it move so quickly." Was she exposed to anything unusual? Any new minerals or energy fields? Samhwa's skin flickered with worry colors. We had to fly through an ion storm 3 days ago. Our ship shields were damaged. Could that have caused this? Hyun-Ki nodded. That explained a lot. Ion storms could disrupt Luridian crystal matrices. Adult Luridians could usually heal the damage on their own, but a baby's crystal matrix was still developing. It couldn't fix itself yet. He walked to a cabinet and took out several bottles of mineral solutions. Each one sparkled with different colors. "These minerals will help stabilize her matrix," he explained. "We'll also use electromagnetic fields to hold her crystal structure together while the minerals work." Samhwa watched nervously as Hyun-Ki set up the treatment equipment. Her fear pheromones were still strong, but now they mixed with the sharp scent of worry and hope. She jumped every time Hyun-Ki moved suddenly, but she didn't run away. The doctor worked carefully, setting up tubes to carry the mineral solutions into Era's body. He adjusted the electromagnetic field generators until they hummed at exactly the right frequency. All the while, he kept talking softly, explaining each step to Samhwa. "The purple solution contains calcium and phosphorus," he said. "These will strengthen her matrix structure. The blue one has trace minerals that will help her body start healing itself. The gold solution." He kept talking, not just to explain, but to help Samhwa get used to his voice and presence. Many of his alien patients felt better when they understood what he was doing. Knowledge helped reduce fear. As he worked, Samhwa slowly moved closer. She still flinched when he moved quickly, but her fear colors were less bright now. She asked questions about the treatment, her voice getting stronger each time. "How long will it take?" she asked, watching the colored solutions flow through the tubes. "The first phase takes about 3 hours," Hyun-Ki answered. "If it works, we should see her colors start to brighten within the first hour. The full treatment might take several days, but these first hours are the most important." He finished setting up the equipment and stepped back. "Everything's ready. We can start whenever you're ready. I know it's hard to trust a human doctor with your baby, but I promise you, I will do everything I can to save her." Samhwa looked at her daughter, then at the human doctor. Humans were strange and scary, yes, but this one had gentle eyes despite their predator look. His hands moved carefully, and he explained everything he was doing. Most importantly, he might be her baby's only chance. Her skin shifted to a deep blue color, the color of decision. "Start the treatment," she said firmly. "Save my little one." Hyun-Ki nodded and pressed the button to begin. The mineral solution started flowing, and the electromagnetic field generators hummed louder. Now all they could do was watch and wait. The doctor pulled up a chair for Samhwa near the bed, then sat down at his monitoring station. The machines beeped softly, showing Era's vital signs. The first hour would tell them if the treatment was working. While they waited, Samhwa asked more questions. She wanted to know about human doctors, about Earth, about why Hyun-Ki had chosen to work with alien patients. He answered honestly, helping her understand that humans were more than just meat eaters. "On Earth," he explained, "we have many animals that eat both plants and meat, like humans do. But these animals can also be gentle. Some are even healers in their own way. There are birds that clean the teeth of large plant-eating animals. There are meat-eating animals that adopt and care for baby animals of other species. Your people, they chose to be healers even though they could be hunters." Samhwa asked, her skin showing curious colors. "Exactly," Hyun-Ki smiled. "Humans can choose what they want to be. I chose to be a doctor because I want to help others, no matter what species they are." Their conversation was interrupted by a soft chime from the monitors. Hyun-Ki quickly checked the readings. His face broke into a big smile. "Look," he said, pointing to Aira's skin. Very slowly, the gray color was starting to shift. Tiny rainbow patterns were appearing, spreading like ripples in water. Songwa's skin burst into bright, happy colors. "She's healing." "The treatment is working," Hyun-Ki confirmed. "Her crystal matrix is starting to stabilize. We still have a long way to go, but this is a very good sign." For the first time since she arrived, Songwa's fear pheromones completely disappeared. She reached out with one of her 4 hands and touched Hyun-Ki's arm. It was a huge sign of trust for a Lyridian to touch someone they had feared. "Thank you," she said softly. "I was so afraid of humans before. But now I see that having a predator's strength doesn't mean you have to be dangerous. It can also mean you're strong enough to protect and heal others." Hyun-Ki smiled. This was why he had become a doctor on a space station. Not just to heal bodies, but to help heal the fear between species. Every patient who learned to trust him was one more step toward humans being accepted in the galactic community. They still had hours of treatment ahead, and many challenges to face. But the first and hardest barrier, fear, had been broken. Now they could work together to save little Aira's life. 2 hours had passed since the treatment began. Dr. Hyun-Ki Park watched the monitors carefully while little Aira's crystal body slowly gained back its rainbow colors. The emergency room was quiet except for the soft humming of machines and the gentle breathing of the baby Lyridian. Samhwa sat next to her daughter's bed, all 4 of her hands gently touching the treatment pod's clear cover. Her skin showed waves of green and gold, colors of hope and worry mixed together. She had not moved from that spot since the treatment started. "Dr. Park," she said softly, "will you tell me more about human healing? Our stories say humans can heal very quickly. Is this why you understand how to help other species?" Hyun-Ki smiled and turned his chair to face her. He liked explaining things to his patients. It helped them feel less scared when they understood more. "Yes, humans do heal quickly compared to many species," he said. "Our bodies are always changing and fixing themselves. This helped us learn a lot about healing." He pointed to a small cut on his hand. "See this? I got it yesterday. It's already almost healed. Humans have special cells that rush to fix any damage. We learned how these cells work, and this helped us understand how other species heal too." Samhwa's skin rippled with interest colors. "But how did humans become doctors for other species? We are so different from you. Lyridians are made of living crystals. Your people are made of—" She paused, looking uncomfortable. "Meat?" Hyun-Ki finished with a gentle laugh. "It's okay, you can say it. Yes, we're very different. But that's exactly why humans became good at treating other species. Because we're so different, we had to learn everything from the beginning. We didn't make assumptions. We studied very carefully." The monitors beeped, and Hyun-Ki quickly checked the readings. Aira's crystal matrix was getting stronger, but something wasn't quite right. The doctor frowned and adjusted some controls. "Is something wrong?" Samhwa asked, her skin flashing with worry colors. "Her matrix is stabilizing," Hyun-Ki explained, "but it's happening unevenly. Some parts are healing faster than others. This could cause problems." He walked to the medicine cabinet and took out more bottles of mineral solutions. "We need to adjust the treatment." As he worked, he kept talking, knowing that silence would make Samhwa more nervous. When humans first joined the galactic community, many species were scared of us. They thought we would be dangerous because we eat meat, but being scared of something new is natural. Even humans get scared of new things. He carefully added the new minerals to the treatment mix. But humans also know how to overcome fear. We do it by learning, by understanding. That's what I try to help my patients do. Understand that being different doesn't mean being dangerous. Samhwa watched him work. Her fear pheromones had almost disappeared now. "You are very patient with scared patients," she said. Don't you ever get angry when people fear you for no reason? Hyun-ki shook his head. Fear usually comes from not understanding. My job as a doctor isn't just to heal bodies. It's to help heal fear too. He checked the monitors again. The new mineral mix was working better. Aira's crystal matrix was evening out. Suddenly, the baby made a small chirping sound, the first noise she had made in hours. Songhwa's skin burst into bright, happy colors. She's waking up. That's a good sign, Hyun-ki said, smiling. Her body is getting stronger, but we still have a lot of work to do. The next few hours will be very important. He went back to his chair and started typing notes into his medical computer. Every case he treated helped him learn more about helping different species. Humans had only been in space for 15 years, and there was still so much to learn. Songhwa watched him work for a while, then asked, "How did you decide to become a doctor for aliens?" Hyun-ki looked up from his computer. "When I was young, I lived in a small town in Korea on Earth. There was an old woman who took care of sick animals. She didn't care if it was a pet or a wild animal. She helped them all. I learned from her that healing doesn't care about differences." He stood up to check Aira's vital signs again. When humans met alien species, many people were excited about trading or exploring. But I remembered that old woman. I thought about how many species might need help, might need someone who wasn't afraid of differences. The treatment room's lights dimmed slightly as the station switched to night cycle. Outside the window, stars twinkled in the darkness of space. Hyun-ki adjusted some controls on the treatment pod, making sure everything was perfect for the night ahead. "You should try to rest," he told Songhwa. "I'll stay here and watch Aira. The chairs can recline, and I can adjust the room's temperature to make you more comfortable." Songhwa's skin showed surprised colors. "You will stay all night?" "Of course," Hyun-ki said. "I'm not just her doctor for a few hours. I'm her doctor until she's well. That's what human doctors do. We stay with our patients when they need us." Songhwa's skin rippled with grateful colors. She let Hyun-ki show her how to make the chair more comfortable, but she didn't fully recline it. She wanted to be able to see her daughter easily. As the night cycle continued, Hyun-ki kept working. He checked readings, adjusted treatments, and made notes. Every hour, he had to change the mineral solutions and check Aira's crystal matrix structure. The baby was stable, but healing such young crystals was tricky work. Songhwa dozed in her chair, but woke up every time Hyun-ki moved around the room. Each time, he would quietly explain what he was doing, helping her understand the treatment. Slowly, her fear of his quick movements and predator features faded away. Near the middle of the night cycle, Aira's monitors showed some worrying changes. Her crystal matrix was having trouble absorbing the minerals it needed. Hyun-ki quickly mixed a new solution. "Her body is fighting the treatment," he explained to Songhwa, who was now fully awake and worried. "This sometimes happens with young patients. Their bodies don't understand that we're trying to help." He adjusted the electromagnetic fields around the baby. "Think of it like teaching someone to swim. Sometimes they fight against the water at first, even though floating would help them. We need to help Aira's body understand that these minerals will help her float." Songhwa watched as he worked. "You explain things so simply," she said. "Most doctors I've met used big words I don't understand." Hyun-ki smiled as he finished adjusting the treatment. "Big words don't help scared patients feel better. Simple words build trust. Trust helps healing." The night continued. Hyun-ki told Songhwa stories about Earth while he worked. He talked about the animals, the plants, and how humans learn to be healers. Songhwa told him about her home world, where crystal forests grew toward 3 suns, and the air was always full of rainbow lights. As they talked, Aira's condition slowly improved. Her crystal matrix grew stronger, and her natural rainbow colors became brighter. The scary moments became less frequent, and Songhwa's worry colors faded. Near the end of the night cycle, Hyun-ki did another deep scan of Aira's crystal structure. The results made him smile. Look at this, he said, showing Songhua the scan images. See how the crystal patterns are rebuilding themselves. Her body is learning to heal itself again. Songhua looked at the images. To her eyes, trained from birth to read crystal patterns, the improvement was clear. Her daughter's matrix was growing strong and healthy again. Her skin glowed with joy colors. I never thought I would trust a human doctor, she said softly. When our ship's computer said the closest help was a human doctor, I almost didn't come. I was so afraid. But now I see that I was wrong. Hyun-Ki nodded understanding. Fear can make us miss chances to be helped. That's why I'm glad you were brave enough to come here, even though you were scared. Your love for Era was stronger than your fear of humans. The station's lights began to brighten as the day cycle started. Era was sleeping peacefully now, her crystal skin shimmering with healthy colors. The emergency was over, though she would need to stay for several more days to fully recover. You should get some real rest, Hyun-Ki told Songhua. I can have a proper bed brought in, and there's a food synthesizer that can make Luridian meals. Era is stable now, and I'll stay nearby. Songhua's skin showed grateful colors. Thank you, Dr. Park, not just for healing my daughter, but for helping me heal from fear too. Hyun-Ki smiled as he made final adjustments to Era's treatment pod. The long night was over, and both mother and child were doing well. More importantly, another small piece of the fear between species had been healed. The new day on Station Epsilon started peacefully. Dr. Hyun-Ki Park had just finished checking on little Era's morning readings. The baby Luridian was doing much better. Her crystal skin sparkled with healthy rainbow colors, and she made happy chirping sounds when her mother Songhua touched her. Her crystal matrix is 70% healed, Hyun-Ki told Songhua with a smile. She's recovering faster than I expected. Luridian babies are very strong. Songhua's skin glowed with proud parent colors. All four of her hands were busy, two holding Era's treatment pod, one adjusting her own medical gown, and one holding a cup of Luridian mineral tea that Hyun-Ki had gotten from the food synthesizer. The emergency room felt different now. The fear pheromones were gone, replaced by the soft scent of healing minerals and hospital cleaners. Songhua no longer flinched when Hyun-Ki moved quickly, and she had learned to read some of the medical monitors herself. When can we go home? She asked, watching her daughter play with a small crystal toy that changed colors when touched. If everything stays stable, maybe in 3 or 4 days, Hyun-Ki answered. He sat down at his monitoring station and started typing his morning report. We need to make sure her crystal matrix is completely stable before. Suddenly, all the monitors started beeping loudly. Red warning lights flashed across the screens. Era made a sharp, painful cry. Hyun-Ki jumped up and ran to the treatment pod. Songhua's skin turned pale with fear colors. What's happening? She cried. The doctor's fingers flew across the control panel. Her crystal matrix is destabilizing, he said quickly. The damaged patterns are spreading faster than the healing ones. He adjusted the mineral flow and the electromagnetic fields, but the warning lights kept flashing. Era's beautiful rainbow colors were fading. Gray patches spread across her crystal skin like dark clouds. Her happy chirps turned into sounds of pain. Why is this happening? Songhua's voice shook with fear. Her skin flashed warning colors. She was getting better. Hyun-Ki worked fast, trying different combinations of minerals and energy fields. Sometimes with crystal matrix damage, there can be hidden cracks we can't see at first, he explained while working. When they start healing, the broken pieces can. He stopped talking as new warnings appeared on the screens. Era's life signs were dropping quickly. The treatment that had been working before wasn't helping anymore. Her matrix is collapsing, Hyun-Ki said, his voice serious. The standard treatment isn't strong enough now. He ran to the medicine cabinet and started pulling out emergency supplies. Songhua's fear pheromones filled the air again, but this time they weren't because of the human doctor. They were for her baby. Please, she begged, there must be something you can do. Hyun-Ki looked at his supplies, then at the dying baby. He had been studying Luridian healing for years. He knew something that might work, but it had never been tried before. It would be dangerous. For both him and Era. "There is one thing we can try," he said slowly. "But you need to understand. It's never been done before. It might not work, and it could be dangerous." Songhwa's skin showed desperate colors. "Tell me." Hyun-Ki pointed to the monitor showing Era's failing crystal matrix. "Luridian crystals respond to energy fields. Right now, we're using machines to make these fields, but they're not strong enough anymore." He took a deep breath. "Human bodies make their own bioelectric fields. They're different from any other species. I think I could use my field to help stabilize her matrix." Songhwa's skin rippled with confused colors. "How?" "I would need to hold her while we do the mineral treatment," Hyun-Ki explained. "My bioelectric field might be strong enough to hold her crystal matrix together while the minerals heal it. But it's just a theory. I've studied it, but I've never tried it." He looked straight at Songhwa. "You need to understand the risks. If my field is too strong, it could shatter her matrix completely. If it's too weak, it won't help at all. And being so close to destabilizing crystals could hurt me too." Songhwa looked at her daughter. Era's crystal skin was almost completely gray now. Her pain sounds were getting weaker. The monitors showed her life signs still dropping. "Will she die without this treatment?" Songhwa asked quietly. Hyun-Ki nodded sadly. "Yes. Within an hour, maybe less. Her matrix is falling apart too fast now." Songhwa's skin showed the deep blue of decision again. "Then we must try. I trust you, Dr. Park." Hyun-Ki moved quickly. He called the emergency medical team for backup, then started preparing the treatment room. He needed everything to be perfect. "I'll need to adjust the room's electromagnetic fields," he explained while working. "They have to match my bioelectric field exactly. Too much difference could cause problems." He typed commands into the control panel, and the room's humming changed tone. Songhwa watched as he mixed new mineral solutions. These were stronger than the ones they had used before. "Will it hurt her?" she asked. "The minerals might sting a little," Hyun-Ki said honestly. "But they're her best chance now." He finished mixing the solutions and checked all the equipment one last time. The emergency medical team arrived. 2 nurses from different alien species. They had worked with Hyun-Ki before and trusted his judgment. They helped him set up the emergency equipment they might need. "Okay," Hyun-Ki said finally. "We're ready." He turned to Songhwa. "Once we start, we can't stop until it's finished. It will take about 10 minutes. No matter what happens, what you see or hear, we have to keep going. Do you understand?" Songhwa's skin showed scared but determined colors. She nodded. Hyun-Ki carefully opened Era's treatment pod. The baby's crystal skin was almost completely gray now. She was very still, making only tiny sounds of pain. The doctor gently lifted her out. The moment he touched her, he could feel the instability in her crystal matrix. It felt like holding something that was about to break into a million pieces. He had to be incredibly careful. "Starting mineral flow now," one of the nurses announced. The new solutions began flowing through tiny tubes connected to Era's crystal body. Hyun-Ki closed his eyes and concentrated. He had practiced controlling his bioelectric field, but never like this. He needed to make it strong enough to help but gentle enough not to cause damage. Songhwa watched nervously as strange patterns of light began to appear around the human doctor's hands. Where they touched Era's crystal skin, tiny rainbow colors started to appear. "It's working," the second nurse said, watching the monitors. "Her matrix is responding to his field." But then Era cried out in pain. Her crystal body started vibrating. Hyun-Ki could feel the vibrations trying to match his bioelectric field. If they didn't match exactly, her matrix could shatter. "Hold on, little one," he whispered, adjusting his field carefully. Sweat appeared on his forehead. Holding such precise control was harder than he had expected. The minutes passed slowly. Everyone in the room held their breath, watching the battle between life and death. Songhwa's skin showed every color of worry and hope as she watched her daughter and the human doctor who was trying to save her. Hyun-Ki's arms began to shake from the effort of maintaining the exact right field strength. The nurses moved closer, ready to help if he couldn't hold on. But he kept going, focusing everything he had on saving this one small life. Slowly, very slowly, Aira's crystal matrix began to stabilize. The gray color faded as rainbow patterns spread from where Hyun-Ki's hands touched her. Her pain sounds became quieter, then stopped completely. Matrix stability increasing, one nurse reported. Now at 40%, 50%, 60%. Songhwa's skin blazed with hope colors as she watched her daughter's natural rainbow patterns return. The crystal matrix was healing itself, using Hyun-Ki's bioelectric field as a template for the correct pattern. After what felt like forever, the nurse finally said, "Matrix stability at 90% and holding steady. I think we did it." Hyun-Ki carefully put Aira back in her treatment pod. His hands were shaking, and he felt very tired. Using his bioelectric field that way had taken a lot of energy. But when he saw Aira's healthy rainbow colors and heard her happy chirps, he knew it was worth it. Songhwa rushed to the treatment pod. Her skin glowed with joy colors as she watched her daughter move and play, all signs of pain gone. Then she turned to Hyun-Ki, who was sitting down heavily in his chair. "You saved her," she said softly. "You risked yourself to save my little one." Hyun-Ki smiled tiredly. "That's what doctors do," he said. "No matter what species we are, we help those who need us." The emergency room was quiet again. The nurses checked all the monitors one last time, then left to report what had happened. This was the first time anyone had used human bioelectric fields to heal a Lyridian. It would change how doctors thought about treating crystal matrix problems. Songhwa's skin showed thoughtful colors. "I was so wrong about humans," she said. "We all were. We saw your strength and thought it meant danger. But strength can be used to protect and heal too." Hyun-Ki nodded, still too tired to speak much. He watched Aira playing in her pod, her crystal skin shining with healthy colors. The theory he had studied for so long had worked. Now other doctors could use this treatment to help more patients. As the excitement of the emergency faded, both Songhwa and Hyun-Ki knew that something important had changed. Not just in medical science, but in how species could learn to trust each other. Sometimes the scariest things about someone could turn out to be their greatest gifts to others.